New to the game and want to know which background to pick and exactly why it is actually one of the most important choices when it comes to character customization. That is what this video is about today, guys. Don't forget, if you enjoy what you watch, if you find it entertaining, or just want to see more Baldur's Gate videos, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, I should really start off by saying you can pick whatever you want when it comes to this game. If you want to just enjoy the story, immerse and roleplay, then feel free to do whatever you want. But on the higher difficulties, take it from someone who's played these games his entire life, your character build is one of the most important things that you can do, and having a well-rounded character can be the difference between having to reload a save and actually getting through one of those rather difficult battles. Now, your background actually has an implement over your entire game. It can change how NPCs interact with you. It can change how a certain quest may end. You also can earn inspiration points, experience points, and complete your very own unique quest based on which background you actually pick. And now, given all of that, we're going to go over every single background in the game, what exactly you get from them, and of course, the ones that I would probably recommend you lean towards. Firstly, let's talk about inspiration points. What exactly are they? Well, as you go through the game leaning towards your current background, you will earn inspiration points. Now, when you earn these inspiration points, you can use them towards re-rolling ability checks that perhaps you have failed. Now, you can stack up to 4 of them in the game. Once you've got those 4, it actually turns into XP points. So you see, that alone kind of explains just why your background is so important, because, you know, leaning toward whichever background you happen to pick, whether it be Acolyte or Soldier or Folklore, will earn you points to re-roll those critical fails. Now, with the Acolyte, you spent your life in the service of a temple, learning sacred rites and providing sacrifices to the gods. So, you know, if you're going to be like a cleric type of character, this could be a very good fit. With it, you get insight with a +3, which is quite strong. You read people and situation, even detect lies with that. Then, of course, you have religion. Surprisingly, you only get a +1. A little bit surprised there, but you do recognize deities and, of course, understand holy rites. Next, we have the Charlatan. You are an expert in manipulation, prone to exaggeration, and more than happy to profit from it. Sounds like my kind of character. The perks that you get from this is deception, a +2 to that, to lying and cheating, also manipulating the truth. After that, we have sleight of hand, very useful, a +3 to that, which is rather generous. You wield nimble fingers. In other words, you can steal some stuff, and it helps you pick locks and pockets, and also disarm traps. Sleight of hand is a very good thing to be able to have. There are so many traps in this game, you're going to want to be able to disarm them. Someone like a rogue character would do great with this. Next up, we have the criminal. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory. You have a history of breaking the law and survive by leveraging less than legal connections. You're a bit of a git, in other words. Now, the 2 perks that you get from here is firstly, deception with a +2. You get extra points towards lying, cheating, and manipulating the truth. And then you also get stealth to stay out of sight, melt into the shadows. It helps you with hiding, and that's a +3. Now, a +3 is pretty darn good. Once again, a roguery type of character would work really well here. Anyone that you kind of want to be sneaking around, perhaps even a druid, as they can manipulate themselves into smaller beings and perhaps get into spaces that other people can't actually reach. They're going to be on their own quite a lot, and so having a stealth perk where they, helps them hiding is probably going to be a good idea. Next, we have the entertainer. You live to sway and observe your audience, engage in common crowds and high society alike. This is great for someone like the Bard. Obviously goes hand in hand, perhaps even Matham. However, you do get aerobics, and aerobics is useful for so much in a game. We actually get a +3 for that. You keep your balance, land on your feet, helps you resist being shoved as well. You also have performance, entertain audiences, and command the stage with a +2. It's the acrobatics here that we actually get, which in my opinion is a very good ability to have, and that +3 means you're going to be winning some of those roles. Next, we have Folk Hero. You're a champion of the common people, challenging tyrants and monsters to protect the helpless. This is a bit of a goody two-shoes character type of go. A good ranger would work well. A druid would work well. You do get animal handling, a +3 in that. Influence animals, pet all the dogs in the world. So anytime an animal option comes up, if you want to stop them from attacking you, make them your friend, for instance, this animal handling is going to come in very helpful. Then you've got survival, again, a +3 with that too. Stay alive in the wilds. Track prey is quite an interesting trait to pick up. Then we have the Guild Artisan. Your skill in a particular craft has earned you membership into a guild, offering you privileges and protection while engaging in your art. This is a really interesting one. The backstory quest is also quite fun. You earn insight, which is a +3, read people's situation, detect lies. You also, more importantly, earn persuasion, only a +2 on this one, but turn on the charm, coax, and kind of manipulate your way into conversations. Anyone that's played a D&D Pathfinder game before will know just how strong persuasion actually is. That mixed with your background can mean that the conversation goes so well. So the Gilded Artisan is a really good little background. Next, we have Noble. You are raised in a family among the social elite. Someone like a paladin would go so well here. Even a fighter character would go well as well. I think that the synergy there works really good. You do have history as your buff here, which is a +1. Remember the past of the world and its people. You also have persuasion, again, that is a +2. We've just went over that. Even a wizard or a sorcerer would work well as well, because them having persuasion is quite handy. I kind of like any character to have a little bit more of a history knowledge, because I like to know the world around me. Then that leads us to Outlander, perhaps one of my favorite backgrounds, to be fair, because of the bonuses that we get. But basically, you grew up in the wild, learning to survive far from the comforts of civilization. Now, the first perk you get is actually athletics with a massive +5, which is absolutely outstanding. I'd very much doubt you're going to lose a roll with a +5, to be fair. Stay fit, perform physical stunts, helps you shove and resist being shoved. Next, you have survival with a +3 as well. Stay alive in the wilds and track prey. We've gone over that one before, but the athletics with a +5 is a massive bonus there. Then we have the sage, perhaps obviously associated most with a warlock or a sorcerer, even a wizard, perhaps even a cleric. You are curious and well-read. You have an unending thirst for knowledge. You have an ability in the arcane, only a +1. Really disappointed with that +1, but it does help you recognize magic and interact with enchanted items. You also have a +1 in history. We've gone over that before. These +1s on both of them lead me to put Sage almost down the bottom of the list. It's an interesting background. There's an interesting quests there. But the +1s are so small of a help, why bother? Then we have the soldier, perhaps a decent fighter, a paladin, maybe even a barbarian would go well here. You are trained in a battlefield tactics and combat. Having served in a militia, you do get athletics of a +5. You stay fit, perform physical stunts, and it helps you, of course, from shoving and being shoved. You also curiously get intimidation. You get to be a bully and threaten and put fear upon the NPCs that you interact with around the game. Last, we have the urchin. Now, after surviving a poor and bleak childhood, you know how to make the most out of very little. Now it says that, but you actually get quite a lot because here we have sleight of hand, which is a really good thing to have with, for instance, a rogue. You have a +3 here. You have nimble fingers and are able to steal things. It helps you pick locks and pockets, and of course that disarming traps. We've gone over just how strong disarming traps actually is. There's so many in the game. Being able to disarm them, plus having that +3 to mean that you're less likely to fail. So strong, so overpowered, absolutely want that. And then you've got stealth as well. Stay out of sight, mount into the shadows, helps you with hiding. Again, a druid needs this, a rogue needs this. There's so many things that having that stealth bonus could be used for. And a +3 is pretty high, to be fair. But that is it, guys. That is every single background in the game and what you get from it, even a snippet into which class it would go well paired with. But remember, this is a role-playing game. The aim of it is to have as much fun as you want. So if you want to play this game a certain way, feel free to do so. The takeaways from this really are that your background actually has more of a role in your game than first thought. It doesn't tell you about these inspiration points. It doesn't tell you that there is a hidden quest behind your background. And these things can have a real impact on your game. Not to mention, depending on which background you pick, certain NPCs will react differently with you. Therefore, spending a minute or two to actually decide which background's best going to fit you is a smart move. But until next time, guys, I've been a monk, we've been a Critically, and I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.